And Congressman Himes is among more than a dozen congressional Democrats calling on the president to step aside in the race for the White House. He says, in part, President Joe Biden is a remarkable leader of unparalleled public service. I hope that, as he has throughout a lifetime of public service, he will continue to put our nation first and, as he promised, make way for a new generation of leaders. News 8 political contributor Mike Cerulli joins us live with more on this. Mike.
Yeah, good evening to you, Ann and Darren. Congressman Himes told me Biden's age and his ability to effectively campaign are at the heart of his concerns about the president. In calling for President Biden to end his campaign, Congressman Himes cited public opinion. He believes President Biden at the top of the Democratic ticket could spell failure for his party.
And I've been watching the polls for a very, very long time. I've been watching the folks that say now the House of Representatives, which I thought we were going to win in November, is very much at risk, and that's what drove my decision.
The president's halting debate performance 2 weeks ago heightened questions about his age and mental acuity.
I also have been with the president enough to know that there has been a change over time. And, you know, I've got aging parents, so I recognize the nature of that change, and that was a concern for me.
Given that Himes and many high-profile Democrats harbor serious concerns about the president's ability to win the race, we asked him, is he confident in President Biden's ability to effectively serve as president?
Based on what you've seen, what you just described, do you worry about his ability to take that 3 a.m. phone call right now?
I don't. I was asked this question the other day, and you know, right now the White House is doing what they need to do with respect to national security. That's partly the president. I think it's also his very, very good team. So I don't worry about national security today.
As of Friday, Himes stands alone as the only member of Congress from Connecticut to publicly call for President Biden to step aside. Congressman John Larson told News 8 the president has been adamant he's in it and he's running. It's time for Democrats to unite and come together to re-elect Joe Biden and defeat Donald Trump. Connecticut Republicans hammered Himes and the president. The head of the Connecticut Republican Party argued that Jim Himes and the Democrats were fully aware of the issues Joe Biden faced, yet they chose to keep them hidden from the American people. For Himes, the focus now turns to what comes next.
I would hope the president would secure his legacy by, doing the George Washington thing, the Cincinnatus of returning to my farm, and that the delegates then would make a choice. When that happens, then I'll start thinking as a delegate about what the right choice is.
And spokespeople for Chris Murphy, Richard Blumenthal, and Johanna Hayes declined to comment on Himes' comments today. A spokesperson for Rosa DeLauro did not respond to our request for comment before broadcast deadline. And the Democratic National Convention will convene early next month in Chicago. Live in New Haven, I'm Mike Cerulli, News 8.